Your Holiness Chinna Jeeyar Swami, distinguished panelists and participants, excellencies, colleagues, and friends. It is an honor to join you today from UNEP's Faith for Earth Coalition and to reflect on the intersection of environment, peace, and Dharma. We meet at a time of profound planetary crises, a time when our ecological urgency is rapidly becoming a humanitarian catastrophe. We are living through the triple planetary crises, the crisis of climate change, the crisis of biodiversity loss, and the crisis of pollution and waste. These are not isolated challenges. They are deeply interconnected, and their impacts are multiplying, especially on the most vulnerable. But this is also a moment of awakening, because amid all this urgency, we are witnessing a rising global recognition that spiritual values, ethical guidance, and faith traditions are essential for the transformation we need. And among these, Dharmic traditions have a unique and timely offering. Let me start with the science, because science sets the alarm. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, warns that we are dangerously close to breaching the 1.5 degrees threshold. Heat waves, floods, droughts, once rare, now relentless, are driving people from their homes and pulling communities into cycles of suffering. But it is not just a climate emergency, it is also a conflict catalyst. Environmental degradation is now one of the fastest growing triggers of displacement. Resource scarcity, including water, arable land, clean air, is becoming a spark for violence. In many fragile regions, climate change and conflict are locked in a vicious spiral. And so we ask, where can we find new pathways for peace? Who can inspire the courage to heal not just ecosystems, but also relationships? This is where the Dharmic lens is profoundly relevant. Dharma teaches us harmony with all life, not dominance, but interdependence, not extraction, but reverence. From ahimsa in Jainism to Daya in Sikhism, from Karuna in Buddhism to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam in Hinduism, the planet is not a property. It is a sacred trust. In this worldview, nature is not natural capital. It is Rita, the cosmic order. Disrupting this order through greed, violence, and ignorance has moral and spiritual consequences. This is why the Dharmic code is not only ecological, it is ethical. The United Nations has now recognized the right to a clean, healthy, and sustainable environment as a universal human right. But rights must be matched with responsibilities. And here, faith actors are indispensable partners. They reach 80% of the world's population. They hold moral authority in places where institutions may not, and they shape behavior, reframe narratives, and restore trust. At UNEP, our Faith for Earth Coalition brings together over 7,000 faith-based organizations across traditions, continents, and causes. We work to integrate spiritual wisdom into environmental policy, education, and action. And we are learning from that faith actors do what others cannot. They transform mindsets, they sustain commitments, and they bridge the divides that so often paralyze multilateral cooperation. Today's panel is more than a conversation. It is a signal to the multilateral system. It says peace is not only the absence of war, it is the presence of ecological balance. It is the practice of justice and compassion across generations and species. So what must we do? We must empower faith-based peace builders, and we must build coalitions that bridge science, spirituality, and policy. And let me offer three pathways forward. First, faith-informed policy. We continue to host national and global consultations where Dharmic and other faith voices shape climate adaptation, nature-based solutions, and environmental justice strategies. Second, education and mindset shifts. We continue to support values-based curricula in schools, temples, monasteries, and community centers where climate action becomes a spiritual obligation. And third, interfaith environmental diplomacy. We continue to include faith leaders in peace processes where ecological degradation drives displacement and violence. This is not charity. It is strategic resilience building. As UNEP, we are proud to stand with our partners at the University of Peace and Dharma Alliance, and we are committed to lifting up Dharmic voices, not as a token gesture, but as critical thought leaders in global sustainability. And as the world prepares for the next COPs and the stocktake of the SDGs, let us ensure that faith is not left behind, because without spiritual courage, we will not achieve environmental justice. Let me close with a teaching from the Bhagavad Gita. Do your duty without attachment to the results. Act for the welfare of the world. This is leadership, and this is the call of our time. Thank you very much.